Let's get right into it. Genesis chapter 16. Let's go. Now Sarai, Abraham's wife, had bore him no children. She had an Egyptian maid whose name was Hagar. And Sarai said to Abram, "The Lord has restrained me from bearing children. I am asking you to have intercourse with my maid. It may be that I, Sarah, can obtain children by her." Abraham listened. So Sarai took Hagar and gave her to her husband to be his secondary wife. And she became pregnant, and when she saw that she was with child, she looked with contempt upon her mistress. And Sarai said to Abraham, "May the responsibility of my wrong be upon you. I gave my maid into your bosom, and when she saw that she was with child, I was contemptible in her eyes. May the Lord be the judge between you and me." But Abraham said to Sarai, "Your maid is in your hands. You do as you please with her." And when Sarai dealt severely with Hagar, she fled. But the Lord found her by the spring in the wilderness and said, "Hagar, where are you intending to go?" And she said, "I am running away from my mistress." And the Lord said to her, "Go back to the mistress and humbly submit to her control. See now, you are with child and shall bear a son and shall call his name Ishmael." God hears, which means God hears. "Because the Lord has heard and paid attention to your affliction. And he, Ishmael, will be as a wild ass among men. His hand will be against every man, and every man's hand against him. And he will live in the east and on the border of all his kinsmen." So she called the name of the Lord, "You are a God of seeing." For she said, Have I not even here in the wilderness looked upon him who sees me and lived? I here also seen the future purposes of him who sees me. Therefore, the well was called a well to the living one who sees me. It is between Kadesh and Bered. And Hagar bore Abram a son, and Abram called the name of his son Ishmael. Abram was 86 years old when Hagar bore Ishmael. Now, one, that Hagar is Egyptian. Okay, so Abraham has a baby with an Egyptian. Okay, that's one big thing. In Sarah's attitude, that Sarah did not want to have a child to extend with the intention to extend her husband's legacy. She said, "I want to have a child so that I can obtain a child by her." So her intention for doing that was selfish. It wasn't to that she seen Hagar was out without husband and child and wanted to bring her into the fam. It wasn't that Abraham was without child and wanted to be able to pass on his legacy. It was simply because Sarah wanted to feel like she could be a mother. And then when Hagar, it says Hagar kind of looked at her, sideways. It didn't sound like she did. She just was looking sideways, feeling funny energy. She was like, "B, you know what? You can go on with that. You can go ahead and get up out of here." The only reason why Sarah didn't say that in the beginning, she had no love. She had no energy connected to Abraham or this girl or even really the child, right? She kicked the child out as well. She only had love for herself in that moment and why she did that. And so when she thought she couldn't do nothing, she asked Abraham, "Oh, I'm going to blame you. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to blame you for what I did." You know what I'm saying? Because he's basically saying, she's your wife now. You should be able to have say-so over her and get her to not be this way. But Abraham removed his responsibility as a husband, which was not good, and said, "Hey, that handmaid is under you. Do as you wish. That's under you. Don't try to put nothing on me. Do as you wish." And what she wished is for her to leave away and hopefully starve and die. That was Sarah's wish. And then what's so interesting is that everyone's like, "I'm sure God would have never let Hagar be in that situation. I'm sure that was totally against God's will. And, everyone would say, hey, girl, just get on out of there. Don't put up with that. God would never have you put up with that. God want, but what did God say to Hagar, though? Let's deal with the real character that's in the Bible and not what we make up in our mind. The real character in the Bible is God said, you know what? Go back to her, meaning go back to being a second wife to someone that's being mean to you. No, not just when she's being nice. It said go back, even though she's being mean to you, and humbly submit. It said, and humbly submit. You're the secondary wife, and humbly submit. That was God's advice to Hagar. And Hagar wasn't like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. This must not be God. This must be the devil, right? Because only the devil will want me to be in that afflicted situation. Only the devil will want me to submit to someone else. No. That's God. You're mixing it up. That's God that said that. God said that. The one that's like, leave, and I'm just going to go do me, and I don't have to put up with this. That's not God. So if that's the energy you're following, I just want to let you know right now, that's not God's MO. They'll be in church telling you the wrong thing. You got to really read this and tap into the spirit and the nature of it before you can really declare what God's trying to do in your life, or let someone else do it. If you ain't read this, don't read this, okay? So you can really know what the Spirit of God is like, and not what you are like, and what some pastors like. Know what this is saying God's like, okay? So, it said humbly submit, go back. You know what I'm saying? And then, but yet look at Hagar's heart, the heart of the woman that was willing to join. She did go back. She did submit. She did, and she saw that God's response. She said, "Thank you, God, for seeing me and responding to me." That was her attitude. The one that's looking good in this situation is Hagar. She's looking good in this situation. Though she had some little weird energies, she's corrected those energies and submitted under God and went to God and got a direction from God, and then did the opposite of what she was probably intending to do, which was to go on with her journey as it was told by her mistress. But God's had a different ideal. And so this fly won't leave me alone. It's about to catch the fade. Okay. But this is something real interesting. I want everyone to know that Ishmael, there was a prophecy around this Ishmael. It said that he's going to be against every man, and every man will be against him. So sometimes when people see like the Muslim culture and that, like, you know what I'm saying, it could be like a little conflict area, and there's still conflict. Boom, right here. They are claiming that they are descendants of Abraham, just like, but they're not under the line of Isaac. They're claiming that they're under the line of Ishmael. And look at what it said about Ishmael. It said he'll be in the east, and he's going to be a wild ass among men, and his hand's going to be against every man, and every man's hand against him.